Anointed with oil, my head held high. I am who I am, no need to justify. Goodness and mercy follow my way. For I am who God says I am each day. I am because I am says I am. In this house I find my eternal rest. Forever and ever, amen. With him I am truly blessed. I am because I am says I am. In his presence I take my stand. Thou prepares a table before me, even in the presence of my enemy.
Hello, 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 everyone. This is Judy Ambrose, as you know, or if you don't know, now you know. Welcome to the Generational Turnaround Podcast, where we seek the truth and then I bring you the proof. Normally by the guests that I invite, but today I'm going solo. And that's because, I wanted to talk to you. This podcast started with, I wanted to help fathers that were in prison. And when they get out, I wanted to help them kind of get back into society and bringing fathers. It was a little more complicated than just getting back in society because they'd been away from their children for a long time. And so I wanted to bring a kind of conversation that my guests could resonate with those fathers and maybe say something that would help them to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I kind of got away from that, thinking that I wasn't really making a difference. But today, God told me in no uncertain terms that I am supposed to go back to helping the fathers when they transitional resource to back into society, but even more important, back into the lives of their children. And so what I did was I applied for a 501c3, and that's to make me a nonprofit so that I can get grants and that I can get donations so that I could form a kind of a partnership with other companies that were already doing transitional resources. So I'm just kind of telling you a little bit about me when I'm saying this, but what I started off with telling everybody that what's happening out there with our young people getting arrested, going to jail, or either worse. And it takes a generational turnaround that we have to be a part of, and we have to go ahead and on up. Now, when we were younger, we kind of got one or two chances when we made mistakes. And some of those mistakes should have caught jail time, real talk. But we had people in places that could make a phone call. our mothers, our fathers, somebody that they knew, someone that they worked for would make that phone call. But not so much now. We're kind of skeptical at making a phone call because our reputation is at stake. So we think twice about helping the young people, especially if we don't believe that they'll change. But we don't know that. You don't know until you try. And you're going to have to try more than once. You may try and that young person did exactly what you thought. But what about the next young person that really, really is sincere, that just need a break? Well, I want to tell you some statistics about wrongful convictions. Now, you may think that you know what that young person is all about, but wrongful convictions are alarmingly common. Did you know that Ameri- black Americans make up 13% of the U.S. population? That's all. But account for 47% of exonerations. I bet you didn't know that. 47% of exonerations, Black Americans. Yes, nearly half of those proven innocent after being wrongfully convicted are Black. What's worse, many of these cases involve young Black men. Mm. One major reason is eyewitness misidentification, which contribute to 69% of wrongful convictions in cases where Black defendants are later exonerated. Now, false confessions, often coerced under pressure, account for 27% of exonerated cases involving Black defendants. Now, mind you, I said we only make up 13% population in the United States, but yet false confessions coerced under pressure accounts for 27% of exonerated cases. These are not just statistics, they are real, live, real dreams shattered by a system that often sees our young people as guilt before proven innocent. Now I know y'all have heard that before. This is not your first time. And I see people leaving, but it don't matter. I'm gonna still say it because we are losing our young people in droves. And not everything is what is said. That some of them are telling the truth. A lot of them are telling the truth, but it looked like they're lying because of the person who's countering their statement. That's a law of abiding person that you're going to believe before the young person. Now, what if it's your child? What about your child that you know without a doubt that he's not going to go this far? And what they're saying about him is a lie. Okay. Over representation in the system. Black Americans are incarcerated at nearly 5 times the rate of white Americans. And for young Black men, the disparity is even starker. For example, 1 in 3 Black boys born today can expect to be incarcerated, can expect to be incarcerated in their lifetime. They already know that. Let's listen at this. Compared to 1 in 17 white boys. Black youth are more likely to be charged as an adult for the same crimes committed by white youth, leading to harsher sentences and lifelong criminal records. Lifelong. This isn't just about the individual, it's about the families torn apart, the communities left behind, and the cycles of poverty and pain perpetuated by these injustices. Now, a lot of us don't. No, not a lot of us, because I'm not putting myself in that category. There's a lot of people who rather not hear these statistics. They rather not deal with the fact that our young Black, young men, young women are being taken out of the community and incarcerated. And I've already told y'all the facts that we only have we make up 13% of the population, Black America, but we make 47% of the exonerated. I didn't say guilty. I'm talking about exonerated. Yeah, they spend time in jail doing whatever they're told to do, knowing that they are innocent, can't prove it. Mom and dad trying their hardest to get someone to listen. And then when they're ready, what happens? Oops. Well, I'm sorry, but he or she, my daughter, my son, was actually innocent, and we got the wrong man, we got the wrong woman, the person who misidentified your child. Your child. They misidentified your child, and what do you get? Oops. Sorry, mistake. But imagine what your child is feeling, what he's feeling about this country, what he's feeling about the system, and it stays with young people. I mean, we forgive. We learned to forgive and forget. Maybe not forget, but forgive those people who mistreated us, misused us, because we came from an era where you had to do a lot of that. But these young people today, when they are misused, falsely accused, it stays with them for a while. And so wrongful convictions are alarmingly common, especially in Black America that makes 13%. I'm going to keep saying that until it sinks in to y'all believe it, because y'all can go to look it up yourselves. Okay. Um, I'm trying to get used to not using my hands so much because I talk with my hands too. Okay. Here, where are we? Okay. Prosecutorial misconduct and system racism. A 2018 study found that prosecutors are twice as likely to pursue the death penalty when the victim is white compared to when the victim is black. Over 95% of elected prosecutors in the U.S. are white, which raises questions about how diverse perspective or the lack thereof impact justice for communities of color. Now, listen here. Message to young people: turning pain into power. Now, to my young listeners, I'm not sharing these facts to discourage you, but to wake you up. You have the power to break this cycle. Stay informed about your rights. Knowledge is power. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, whether it's through education, entrepreneurship, community activism. You have the tools to rewrite your story. You don't have to fall for these standards because there are people that are waiting for you to make one wrong move. And then you're going to be in that 47% of young people who end up in prison. End up in prison. Wrong or right. Maybe you didn't do it, and you may get exonerated in a year, in two. Some people get exonerated after doing 20 years and they were innocent all the time. You want to take those chances that you get lost in the system for 20 years, and then one day the system says, oops, we made a mistake. The witness was wrong. 20 years of your life behind a wrong witness. Misidentification is what it's called. Now, I'm here because I seek the truth and then I bring you the proof. I'm going to, I was disobedient when God gave me generational turnaround. Disobedient because I stopped telling you all what's happening in the system, in your state, what's happening to your child, what's happening to you. I'm saying child, but I've watched the news and I've seen a lot of adults, my color, beaten, falsely accused, exonerated after years. Well, how long? How long is this going to go on? We have to stop believing each other. We don't have to say guilty until proven innocent. because that's what's being said in the system. If we have that same mindset, there's a lot of innocent people who's incarcerated that will never get out. So we have to give our young people the benefit of the doubt and believe that misidentification is prevalent, especially when it comes to Black people. We all look alike. That's something that was said a long time ago. But as facts to the people that were saying it. But now it's back again if it was ever not. Young people are being misidentified and taken to jail, and God knows what happens after that. All I'm saying, it's time for a generational turnaround. It's time to seek the truth until you get proof. Believe in that person, that child, that loved one. I mean, first of all, we ought to know our children. We ought to know if they're telling the truth. If you've raised that child, you know that child better than anyone else. And I know a lot of stuff is going on. The trickster is what I call him. He's out there in full force, and taking weak he's taking our loved ones, especially if they're on the borderline from going to the left or the right. Maybe they want to take a chance just because some friends did it and it worked and they want to experience it. But does that deserve life? 20 years, 10 years, 15 years? That it's already said that if they're black, they're going to get a longer sentence than the white counterpart. So what we need to do, we need to tell them, we need to make sure that our young people stay informed about their rights. Knowledge is power. Secondly, surround themselves with people who lift them up, people with knowledge, people who understand that from God you can get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The three components that will keep them out of the system. Because once they're in that system, it's hell to get them out of that system. Let me tell you, I have 4 nephews who are in the system, and I am an activist because I know that it's going to be a while before the system is set up in our favor. I'm, I'm just going to say this. We all heard through the election, we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America greater again. Well, who was responsible for building America to a place where that word, there was those words was said. We built America. Who made America great? We made America great. There's all those who came in from different ports wanting to be free, came here and they made America what it is today. So I'm going to leave on that thought. Think about who made who really made America the great country, but yet our children are being taken into custody, made to feel like less than, and not only just our children, we are made to feel less than, and we are more than that. We deserve more than that. So I pray that today for you was better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. I pray that tomorrow will bring forth a double portion of blessings in the form of opportunity that you never saw coming. Talk to your young people. Tell them what they need to know. And some of them may say, I know, I already know. But they're going to be calling you if if it happens to them. Tell them what to say. Tell them how to act when a policeman comes and question them. Tell them to have that cell phone and make sure they have you on speed dial so you can get there, because 47% of our young people that's arrested are later exonerated. But at what cost? You know, if you're my age or around 30, 40, 50, you have patience because you learned patience back in that day, that back then. But our children don't have the patience unless we teach them the ropes. So good night. I'm going to be here on Thursdays and Fridays. I'm going to have a guest, and the guest will be someone that has had done time and can tell you what happened to them, was exonerated later on, but you can't get back that time. So we're going to make sure the generational turnaround, we're going to make sure we're going to turn all this around, and we're going to bring our children to the fold so they don't end up in that system that's, look, it's already said, and yeah, please let me tell you this, they're already saying that 1 in 3 black boys born today can expect to be incarcerated in their lifetime, compared to 1 in 17 white boys. I'm going to leave you with that. You don't
staff I find comfort. In the depths of despair he lifts me up. I am because I am says I am, a sheep in his pasture. I am because I am says I am. In his presence I take my stand. Thou prepare